Okay.
Good evening. So tonight I'm going to talk to you about mediation and real estate. Mediation is actually the transactional way out for families' conflict. So let me just give you an overview of what we're going to talk about. So key factors to understand mediation, examples, real estate and mediation example, and hopefully the takeaways. So the first thing I want to do is this is the definition of mediation by the code of evidence. I'm going to make it easy for you. You have two words that are very important: neutral and confidentiality. Okay? Confidentiality is key because actually when you mediate, whoever is in the room, even the lawyers, whatever is going to be said, cannot be used in a court of law, except two exceptions if there is violence or stuff like this. But that's the rule. As ever. So that is something that is not known enough from people. They believe they're going to meet and they want to be careful about what they're going to say. They don't have to because it's confidential. The second thing is neutrality. So it's here. Mediators have no decision-making power. What does it mean? It means that we're not playing lawyers and we're not playing judges. We do not do a legal evaluation of the case. As far as I'm concerned, this is not our job. Here is what is our job and what is at stake for realtors. So let's put it like this. You have a listing appointment and someone passed away. If you don't have a trust and a will, you need to know that this case is going to the probate court immediately. You cannot even take the listing without a trustee, the probate court being involved. The second possibility is where the listing portal is nice for you, is that you have a will and you have a trust. So you can list, but you have to be extremely careful. Why is that? Because actually it's not because you have a trust that you are out of the wood and there will be no problem. So what are the main problems that as a realtor you will encounter when you have a listing where there is a trust? Number one, people don't know where the trust is. That sounds crazy, but that's the truth. Number two, people don't know what's in the trust, which is even crazier because this is where people start to fight. Number three, you're going to have to deal with the trustees. So let me give you an example. We had a client that actually appointed as trustee his ex-wife and his current wife because he thought that they would find a way to do what is best for the kids. How do you think this works? Not exactly the way we were expecting it to work. So that's important. So the second thing you need to keep in mind is pretty much in every situation what you will encounter is everyone wanting the same thing or no one wanting the same thing and fighting around the value of those things. So I don't have my super ring tonight, but I have a big ring. And let's say that, it was given to the daughter, okay? But the brother thinks this ring is worth, oh boy, $1 million. The guy never got married. It doesn't make the difference between crystal Swarovski and diamonds. At least this is what the sister say. So the sister says it's $500, okay? So that gives you an idea. The house, the same thing will happen. As long as you put a house on the market, especially if you have heirs that are out of state, you have a one bedroom anywhere in Silicon Valley, you're a millionaire. Nope, it's not true. The second thing that you can encounter is you will have some of the kids who want to sell their house and some of the kids who want to keep their house and rent it. So you have to be very careful with all these fights because especially if you have an elderly person still alive but lacking capacity, being sick, the person needs to be put into a home with medical attention. You don't want to be an accessory to elder abuse by forcing to list and sell the property when some of the kids want to rent it and use the rent to pay for their loved one, okay? So another thing also that can make you shine, it's a free tip that I use, is articles of value. When you go around the house, and it might be very cluttered, especially with elderly persons, you might see things that you say, maybe there's value in this. So here is what happened to me, I believe 18 months ago. I had one of those listings, the brother passed, the sister inherited. I walked the house that was extremely clean, but very, very outdated. And then I finally ended up in this room and I saw a collection of shelves and corals. And I'm like, there might be some value in this. So I called 2 or 3 auctions, a company that I know, and I ended up organizing a sale for those shells and corals in Orange County. I flew my 80-something years old client over there, and we got money. So you see, another one that I saw like a month ago, one of the advantages, I believe, of being from Europe, I saw a nice China tea set, and I looked at it. And when I looked at it, I saw that there was actually the face of a woman that was transparent. Of course, my grandmother had the same one. You pour water, and you saw the face of a person appearing. So that was about to go to the dumpster. I'm like, hold on. So I started pouring water in every single cup. That was the same face, because the more faces you have, the more expensive it is. But believe me, my clients were happy. So keep an eye on things that you have what they fight for, the obvious, but you have also the unknown value. Same thing, I mean, if you go on our website, we give a list of items, like, not because I'm French, but vintage Chanel bags, as long as they're not fake, we're good. I mean, stuff like that could worth a lot of money, and people don't even know about it. So that's a thing. So how can we help you, us mediators, when you're a real estate agent? So the first thing is, I would say, get the listing and shine. So just be wary of what I just explained to you, but explain to your client that the bottom of all this is really to avoid to go to court. The way that I define myself when we present ourselves with Linda, my business partner, is we are the win-win people. We're here to help people tell their story, custom design a solution. The judge doesn't want to hear about, mom loved him more than she loved me, so it's unfair. We are paid and here to listen to that, and we go to the core, at the bottom of the dispute, and then, like the phoenix, obviously we rise and find the right solution. The other thing that you can do is use our network, because we have a network of organizer people who are going to do the hauling. We can organize estate sale. All of this is available to us. It's a phone call away, so just call us. And explain to your client that when you have a listing they're fighting, well, of course, if we avoid court, it goes quicker and it's way less expensive. But explain to your client it's a question of risk management. Do you want to spend X amount of thousands of dollars money and 2 or 3 years in court? Right now, a probate case goes between 12 to 18 months in the San Jose court right now. So risk management, and also explain to them that the irony of it, because I also do settlement conferences, meaning that the judge appoint us as mediators. It's mandatory for the parties, so they already have lawyers. They paid all those fees, and what happened, the judge say, oops, you're going to spend 3 hours with Sophia and Linda. So this is a work we volunteer for, because you need to have certain accreditation to do that, but that's the irony of all of that. So the second thing is really don't get involved into a capacity issue, because that you will lose your license, okay? So when you have someone picking up the phone and say, my mom is 95 years old and actually we need to sell a home. You're not talking to the owner of the home. Always, and that works for whatever kind of listing you have. The first thing you do when you hang up the phone is you go online, you check the public record, and you check if you talked to the owner of the home. If it's not, be extremely careful. So another thing that you should never forget to use, we have a special form on zip form, actually, which is the representative capacity signature disclosure. That means that the trustee will sign this document and say, yes, we are authorized as the trustee to put the property on the market and to represent the estate. If you don't have this form, whoever you sign with, you're not in a listing agreement. You're not. This is as simple as that.
Do you need anything beyond the form to show that, or
No.
they're taking the burden of, they're vouching that they're
As a real estate agent, you need to have this form done, and what goes with it is title company, as soon as you will open escrow, will ask you a copy of the trust, because then they will verify that the person who signed the document are indeed the trustees. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, last thing I wanted to talk to you about is when can we help? I guess hopefully I gave you an idea of how we can help. When can we help? So, we can help before you got the listing. It happens to me, I believe 3 or 4 weeks ago, I got a friend with a real estate agent here in Silicon Valley, called me and say, hey, I'm about to sign the listing. The brother and sister are fighting over the price. There are items of value. They don't know what to do. Can you come down and let's mediate and agree, discuss everything? I did it. It worked. You got the listing. So that's pretty useful. The second thing is when you already have the listing, but then suddenly a dispute arises, okay? You don't know what to do. They're fighting and the trustee, I mean, they're not all professional trustees. If you're dealing with a professional trustees, they might need to know how to handle it. Actually, some of them hire us too, but we can help. We are kind of the communication peacemaker and trying to put everyone on track, having the idea right in front of you. Do you want to solve it now? Do you want to spend time and money? Do you want to be sick to your stomach because of something like this? Or do you want to try and have someone who knows how to do that, help you design a solution that is right for everyone? Okay? So, the last thing is I'm going to tell us briefly a little bit more about mediation past Silicon Valley. Linda, my business partner, has been a probate, trust and estate lawyer for more than 30 years. We've both been doing mediation and we were not content with what we saw. So we decided to develop our own mediation technique, and as a result, where most of the mediators who spend a whole day and charge you thousands and thousands of dollars, we usually wrap it up between 3 and 5 hours. Okay, so that's why we are less expensive. We're trying to be more efficient because Linda is still in the field, helping people designing trust and or in probate court. I'm in the real estate field, and I know when a dispute arises, the sooner you handle it, the better. This is all. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you.